Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. I'd also like to recognize and thank my honorable colleagues who are joining me, our Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Minister Jones, the Minister of Labour, Training, Immigration and Skills Development, Minister Piccini, the Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, Minister McCarthy, the President of the Treasury Board and Minister of Francophone Affairs, Minister Mulrooney, and the Minister of Seniors and Accessibility, Minister Cho, the Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism, Minister McGregor, and the Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery and Procurement, Minister Crawford. Today, as part of our Protect Ontario plan, our government introduced the Protect Ontario Workers and Economic Resiliency Act 2026, the POWER Act. Our government has heard clearly from businesses, employers, employees alike, that they need more certainty in this uncertain economy. They need convenience, not red tape, delays, and bureaucracy. And they need a government that moves faster. They need a government that moves as fast as the people ready to seize the opportunities. That is what Protect Ontario means and what the POWER Act delivers. The POWER Act represents ideas from the shop floor to the construction sites, to landscapes that are bountiful with natural resources, to favorite local restaurants, coffee shops, and businesses. The POWER Act represents the next chapter in our government's mission to protect Ontario, to help build a more resilient and self-sustaining economy that can withstand disruption and make Ontario the best place in the G7 to invest, do business, and create jobs. By cutting red tape, we're creating the certainty and confidence businesses need to invest and grow here in Ontario. Because this is how we protect Ontario. By making it easier and more faster for businesses to invest, grow, and compete right here in our great province. To do so, our government is embarking on a transformation of the province's economic development-related permits. To date, Ontario has made significant progress in addressing key business permitting issues, including reducing and streamlining permissions, simplifying system navigation, and improving accountability. With over 150 permits completed or currently under review, the province is on track to eliminate or streamline at least 35% of all business-facing permits by the end of 2028. Next steps for streamlining permits and approvals include improving service standards for business permit applications, supporting the one project, one process mining proponents, leveraging AI to inform project plans, identifying relevant permit requirements for specific 1P projects, as well as any regulatory barriers to effective project planning. And through the Heritage Framework transformation, we're launching a new IT system to strengthen accountability and compliance while improving customer service and expediting project delivery. By reducing unnecessary delays and regulatory burden, Ontario is building a predictable, investment-ready environment that supports job creation, it boosts our economy, it helps our competitiveness, and it secures long-term growth. Through our government's Team Ontario approach to get the economy moving, progress is already underway, and through the exceptional work of the Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, Minister McCarthy, he is embarking on the work to simplify the environmental compliance approval process to a simple permit-by-rule process, and that is being done through the Ontario Environmental Activity and Sector Registry. And the remarkable work being done by Minister McGregor and the Ministry of Citizenship and Multiculturalism to revolutionize the Ontario Heritage Act and to get economic development projects to, yes, faster and easier. Not to mention, he's very excited about the work they're doing, but not to mention the archaeological backlog he has cleared. This is a game changer, and this is game changing. It accelerates approvals by doing things better, faster, and more efficiently. And we are doing so while working with Indigenous partners to meet expectations for duty to consult. At a time where every dollar counts, every minute matters, we are unlocking new opportunities for dynamic new growth and investment. Ontario is amongst the top 2 provinces in Canada for cutting red tape, and we have the lowest regulatory burden per capita in the nation. We are saving people and businesses over $1.3 billion and 1.8 million hours annually, while continuing to protect and strengthen the safeguards we all rely on for public safety and our environment. The actions being taken today will help businesses diversify into new markets, strengthen economic resilience and self-reliance, and buttress our critical supply chains. Premier Ford's resolve to protect Ontario has never been stronger. We will not back down, not now, not ever, in the pursuit of securing Ontario's place as the economic powerhouse of our great nation. This is how we make life easier and more affordable. This is how we keep people safe and our economy strong. And this is how we protect Ontario. As we all know, supporting economic growth and protecting workers go hand in hand. And this is exactly what the Power Act does. Next, I would like to invite Minister Piccini, who has been working tirelessly to support labor mobility, helping workers move faster into high-demand jobs, and giving employers faster access to the skills talent they need. Mr. Piccini.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister Khanjin, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to stand here with colleagues who've already been introduced today, who've all contributed to our power bundle. I appreciate the work that they've done and the work we've done as a team to be here where we are today. I also want to say a special thank you to the many stakeholders and remarkable people who I'll mention in a moment who've had a pen in the bill that we've worked on today. Today, as a part of our plan to protect Ontario, our government introduced the Power Act, legislation that will protect workers and keep our economy moving. Because in today's uncertain global economy, workers and employers alike cannot afford systems that are slow, outdated, or working against them. This bill that we're introducing will modernize how employment standards complaints are handled, cutting delays, focusing resources where they matter most, preventing slowdowns in the system, and delivering fast decisions for workers. We're increasing benefits for injured workers, the first significant increase, the first, in over 30 years. And we're expanding coverage to include more frontline workers, including those in licensed retirement homes. I want to say a special shout out to SEIU Healthcare Union members who are here today. You've done this. It's for you, these measures that we're introducing today. Thank you, Ty, for your leadership, and to Sandy, if she's here today. It's stories like Sandy that underscore why we do what we do. We're also taking further steps to make job sites safer, mandating next-generation hard hats and recognizing trusted Canadian-made safety equipment. Many leading employers have already taken steps to do this to ensure that we reduce lost injury time on the jobs. And we're improving how we understand workplace illness through a first in Canada, the Occupational Exposure Registry. These new tools will help collect exposure data that can lead to faster diagnosis and better outcomes for Ontario's workers. At the same time, we're making it easier for people to get to work. That means harmonizing health and safety standards across provinces so a qualified worker can get on the job faster without costly duplication. Premier Ford and I were honoured to have the support of Canada's building trades unions, along with every major general contractor in the country, as we advanced these interests just last week at a meeting of Ministers of Labour in Quebec City. It means protecting workers' pay, including banning unfair uniform charges, because employees shouldn't be out of pocket just to earn a paycheck. And it means strengthening protections in sectors like film and entertainment, ensuring workers are paid fairly and on time. I want to especially thank the incredible workers of ACTRA who've helped, again, in drafting a pen in this legislation. Ontario's workforce is world-class, and these steps will protect workers and grow our economy. That is how we protect Ontario. Thank you all for being here today.
We will now begin to take questions from the media. Can all media present please line up behind me at the microphone? As a reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your questions. Thank you.
Jessica from the Trillium here. Was anyone with the government lobbied on this plan to remove EAs and public consultation on the changes to landfill service areas and fill rates?
You're talking about a permit review?
The proposal to remove the requirement for landfills when they expand their fill rates or their service areas to go through the EA process or to do the public consultation.
Good afternoon. Yes, the strong environmental oversight continues as we build the Ontario of tomorrow and be resilient in making sure we have the landfill capacity that we need. That means different ways of disposing of our waste, not relying on exporting 40% of our waste over the border to Michigan and New York, but the environmental compliance approval process and the consultation and input associated with that and the strong oversight associated with that will continue.
The question was, were you or was anybody else in the government lobbied on making this change by anyone?
We went to the people of Ontario and we received a third majority mandate on February 27, 2025, and that became the basis for the various schedules to the bill that was passed last year, including the Species Conservation Act, which has now been proclaimed in force. It has stronger investigative powers than ever before. It has with it a new, revised, and balanced definition of, and balanced purpose, if I can finish, if you wouldn't mind, but it has that important balancing factor to it, protecting species balanced with economic and social factors. So we've also quadrupled the investment in protecting species in their habitats from $4.5 million to $20 million a year, and I'm proud of that. So what we did was act on a mandate from the people of Ontario.
Will these changes benefit the owners of the Dresden landfill, and did you discuss this issue with them?
These proposed changes will streamline processes, make it faster and easier when interacting with government on the environmental side, while also ensuring strong environmental oversight, and I'm very proud of that.
Objects to these changes, to remove their right to be consulted about changes to landfills, to remove the EA process, will you go through with them if the public objects?
We're maintaining the open public consultation process with stakeholders, with Indigenous representatives, with all members of the public. That public consultation process is maintained, but what we're emphasizing is streamlining one project, one process.
As President of the Treasury Board, would you have had to approve the purchase of this private plane?
Expense requests, spending requests come to the Treasury Board and then are brought to Cabinet for approval.
Did you have any concerns when it came across your desk?
Well, I can't disclose conversations that occur at Treasury Board or at the Cabinet level to preserve Cabinet confidentiality.
Looking at it now, do you think it's a responsible use of money to purchase this plane and then try and sell it potentially at a loss 2 years later?
I think we heard the Premier earlier today discuss the rationale for the decision, and he made it very clear that he heard from Ontarians on the weekend that it would be in the best interest to reverse the decision, and that's what he did. Thank you.
Minister Crawford.
Final question, please.
Will the government be reimbursing people who paid for FOI records that they'll no longer be permitted to receive?
Sorry, the question, could you repeat that?
People who submitted FOI requests for records that will soon be not allowed to be legally accessed, will those people be given their money back?
Yeah, part of the reason we brought this legislation in on the FOI was there's been many times where people actually do put in requests and they don't get the information they're looking for. This will bring clarity to people that are actually getting FOI requests, unlike other provinces where you pay this money and you don't know what information you're going to get.
That concludes our media availability. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you very much.
Thank you.